I cannot miss an important statement that I have to make. And I'm blown away by this conference. You know, when I finished my term, I knew that Adam will take this organization to new heights. And Adam and Sean, what you guys and the whole IAC team have done this weekend is just unbelievable. So congratulations to you guys. So, Miri and Sheldon, a few years ago you attended the gala in Los Angeles, an IAC gala, and you saw what no one else could see, the potential, and you immediately converted it to a vision, and you asked us to execute it. What did you see that night in the IAC that inspired you and gave you the idea that this organization can grow to what we are today?
Okay, the truth is we were invited by one of our friends who is here, Dr. Pokroy, and he told us we have to come, and we flew to Los Angeles, and we were sitting there, and the energy was amazing. I think there were almost 1,000 Israelis in the hall, and it was just unbelievable. Then Sheldon turned to me, he has the credit, and told me, "Do you know what we can do from this? We can go, we can copy it to all over America, and we can be a big, strong organization that can help Israel." And of course, immediately I joined him, but it was his first say. I have to give him the credit. And from there, the rest is history, but unless he wants to add something else.
How much time we got?
As much as you need.
Pardon me?
As much as you need.
First of all, let me thank you all for that very, very strong welcome. Thank you very much. What Sean forgot to tell you was that after I brought up the idea, I took Adam and Sean for dinner at Spago's. So after talking about it, the important thing was that we then served dinner. You know the old Jewish expression, we had a confrontation, we had a war, we won, then we ate. It was the first time I had seen that many Israeli Americans together, ostensibly for some common interest. And it occurred to me that there are other Jewish organizations that are looking to represent American Jews and to foster the American-Israeli relationship. But there's one word that came to my mind, and I'll tell you now, that word is equivocal. There is equivocation in other organizations for various reasons, but when it comes to Israeli Americans, there is no equivocation. Nobody knows how many Israelis live in America. I've heard numbers from 400,000 to 1 million. Nobody in Israel that I know knows what the number is. But the fact of the matter is that except for what happened in Los Angeles that night, nobody has ever gotten together. Now, I'm not Israeli. I was born and raised in Boston. Yay, Boston. Go Pats. But my heart is in Israel. And Israel is in my heart. There are times that Israel has to be represented in the United States. And there are times when we cannot have equivocation, that we need a group of people to advocate for Israel unequivocally. And I felt that if there was an organization called the Israeli American Council, that council and that organization would unequivocally, always, and without question and irreversibly support Israel when it needed it. Now, I got to correct a little thing. I'm actually half Israeli. It's not my left or my right or my top or my bottom. Our friend Bibi Netanyahu, when I said I wasn't Israeli, he said, yes, you are. He said, you're at 50% Israeli. And I said, Bibi, I'll be happy to be 50%, but don't make me 51%. I'll have to pay taxes in two places. It's bad enough I'm a bigger taxpayer here in the United States, but I'm happy to pay because I make the money, and I'm happy to support a country that has for decades allowed the Jewish people to come here to escape the pogroms and to allow Jews to come here and live a first-class life as first-class citizens. Yes, there is occasional anti-Semitism, but it's minor and it's spread out. But so I'm happy to be a taxpayer and to pay my share, and more than my share, of taxes. Miri is right. That evening, I said to myself, self? Well, that's how I got to address myself. Self, this could be an unequivocal support organization for Israel. There'll be no political correctness. There'll be no questions about whether we should keep the door to the White House open for us. There'll be no partisanship. Will be Democrats, will be Republicans. But the most important thing we're going to remember is the home of the Jewish people. Not only the Jews in Israel, but worldwide. What I thought could happen in 2 or 3 years was to set up at least 20 chapters. And the IAC is almost there. Shoham announced Atlanta, that's number 16. And by the end of this year or the next few months, there'll be 19 or 20 chapters. And we could grow from there. There are Israeli Americans in every part of the country. Etanim, Michelano, Sofim, Keshet. Our grandchildren are in Keshet. Our son was a counselor in Sofim for several years. When I look out at the audience here and I see such a big audience, it reminds me of the days when AIPAC started to grow. And it grew from less than 2,500 people, smaller than what we are today, into 17,000 people that come to the AIPAC National Conference. But this group, the IAC, won't even question whether or not we should support Israel. It's not only in my heart, it's in all of your hearts. And we have to reach out to all the Israeli Americans and finally get an accurate count of how many there are in the United States. As I said, I hear numbers from 400,000 to 1 million. Well, whatever it is, we'll get to in one day. We have offices here, council offices here in Washington, D.C. And with all these organizations that IAC is supporting, I got to hand it to Sean, to Adam, and to show him, and the rest of the IAC board, to Miri and Natty and the others that are supporting the board. With all those organizations, it is really a community that has been established, that is a solid community. I've seen the beginning of the growth of what will be a huge tree of Israeli Americans, and I feel that that dinner at Spago's was worth it.
That dinner was
Okay, we said that. Let's eat.
that dinner was historical, and I'm sure that one day someone will write the history of the IAC that will have its place there. But Miri, you know, we have communities and activities, different programs all over the country, and you've been engaged so much in the leadership in Las Vegas. It's one of our successful council, and in just not in the leadership, but in the programs themselves. So tell me, I mean, you attend meetings, you go to events, you're so engaged. What got you so engaged in the community there?
The moment we decided to start the ISC, I crowned myself to be the chairman of the Las Vegas ISC.
We crowned
Just
you.
nobody elected me, but I was so proud of my
I
friend.
would have voted for you.
And and I was so proud of my friends that joined me. We have been 20 board members, and I had a condition that I will chair it for 1 year, and now my title is Chairman Emeritus, or Chairwoman Emeritus, which I carry with a lot of love. Whenever I can help, I'm joining. I always say that the best philanthropy that people are doing are spending their time. It's so easy to write a check, to sign, and to give, but it's much more difficult to give up your time and to volunteer. So I see my board members, how much they are growing in their activity, in the philanthropy, and it makes me feel that I have partners. You know, in the school, for example, we built a school in Las Vegas. So when we ask donations, they say, it's the Adelson school. So the Adelson should give. And I'm hurting because I want other people to be my partners. Even you can donate $100, give the $100 and become a partner. It's so easy, and it gives me great feeling, and it should give to the others. So that's what my experience, and here I see that everybody is doing, either giving their time or giving money to help other programs, and it warms my heart. I have many, many partners, each one of you. Thank you.
So I'm happy you brought that point because I want, and we're saying it to our community, having you is really a blessing as a mega donor. But you're right, a lot of people say, and I know we're experiencing it in Birthright, it's the same. You have the Adelsons, what we need. So I'm happy that our community hear directly from you how important for each one of us to do their share, whatever we can do, if it's money or time or whatever. So thank you for that. Sheldon, yesterday when we walked, as I mentioned, and Miri around the conference, I was blown away and I was really inspired and I saw it on your faces. We went to different programs. One of them was Gvanim, and we saw our future leadership that's going to go across the country and lead not just the IAC, because the IAC vision, if you don't know, it's not just to lead in the IAC, it's to be a leader in the community. And you can choose which one you want to lead with. So tell me what you saw yesterday that inspired you so much when we walked around the conference.
We went into this room, there were about 70 people seated in a circle around the moderator. He was on the end of the circle. And I looked at the faces and I saw leaders. And I said to myself that these are tomorrow's leaders. From the IAC, it's giving birth to an organization that is corralling not only donors and volunteers, but people who want to be part of a community. And all those, I looked at all their faces. They were of different ages, and I was very moved by it. And I saw a potpourri of tomorrow's leaders. And it really moved my heart.
Thank you. I will end with one question. Miri, you were born in Israel. Sheldon, you were born in Boston. At what point you made such a commitment that you're going to invest so much time and so much resources into Jewish continuity and the security of the Jewish people in the state of Israel?
Well, I'm involved politically in the United States. I don't want to be involved politically in Israel. It's tough enough here. But I tell those people that I'm supporting and why I'm there, I tell them I'm a one-issue person. That issue is Israel. Over the years, Miri and I have taken 205 congressmen and senators to Israel. And we got involved with Birthright because we had seen these 205 congressmen and senators come back from Israel after a week. And they all said, "This has changed my life." Because of that, we went to Birthright. We heard of Birthright, and we said we could really do a great job here. They were sending, I think Giddy Mark said today, 15,000, 20,000 kids. Now, this year, Birthright sent 48,000. We have a long way to go because there are nobody really knows the exact number, but there's approximation of 100,000 Jewish kids born in the United States every year. So if we're going to keep up to date, we got there's an 8-year gap of eligibility from age 18 to 26, and now Birthright is going to experiment with a second age group between 27 and 32. A colleague of mine, Cole, is sending his daughter on a trip next year from that age bracket. He said, let's call it birthright marriage. The likelihood is that people going at that age are looking for a mate. And it's a great place to find it. There have been thousands or tens of thousands of marriages coming out of Birthright.
And we have over 200 Birthright alumni from this summer here, and their connection to the IAC is just a perfect match. They visit Israel, they come back. Now they have a community here that they can work with, and across the US with the whole Jewish American community. So, Miri, do you want to add something?
Yeah, with me, the story is different. Philanthropy, when we started to be involved. Giving is part of my profession as a physician, so I took care of people, and till I came to the States. So all the time I was telling today the story. The American Jewry was seen by the Israeli, by my generation at least. You remember the movie Salah Shabati? Okay, do you remember him changing the plaque every half an hour? When a bus from Boston is arriving, he's putting the plaque. This forest was donated by the community of Boston. Then Salah Shabati is running and changing because the Miami bus is coming. So he's running and changing the plaque for Miami, and so on. That was my generation. We thought the American Jewry as just giving money to Israel. Till I came to the States, and I met Sheldon on a blind date. And we started to go together to events in America, to Jewish events. And the more I came, I said to myself, my God, this is totally something different. The American Jewish community is so much involved and do care so much about what is happening in Israel. And as I said later on, they are like the soldiers. The Israeli soldiers are protecting with the body the state of Israel. And the American Jewry, and now the IAC, would be our soldiers. If God forbid something is endangering the state of Israel, I know you and you and you would run to the White House or go to your senator or go to your congressman and ask for quick arm delivery or whatever. You will fight for Israel. So I see the importance. So my perspective about giving has changed. Earlier, it was giving time, and slowly, I wanted to join. I was in the Israeli army, and now I am in the American army, and we are all, the IAC and the Jewish community, are the army that are protecting the state of Israel.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Miriam and Sheldon Adelson.